Our topic for today is parameters that we control. So, two important parts of this phrase. First one is parameters, and we are going to have a control over them. So there are two parts. So what are the parameters we are going to control? First of all, what actually parameter is? For instance, if I ask you about parameters of water, your response might be like this. Water has some certain temperature that we might like to control, or let's say pH level of the water that we might like to control, and then TDS, total days of solid in the water, that we might like to control, EOC level, conductivity, hardness, amount of the silicon in the air, in the water. So those are the parameters relevant with water. So if you are designing a HVAC system, what are the parameters you might have a focus on? The very first parameter that will hit you is temperature. In residential project, commercial project, or even in the industrial project, wherever you go, the major parameter you always control is temperature. This one is a very common one, irrespective of all the project. Second one is humidity. Especially in sophisticated projects where we are concerned about the product or activity, we might like to have a humidity control. For instance, in the places where you are storing some food materials or productions related with pharmaceuticals, food production facilities, those are the areas. Also hospitals and some operation theaters, we might have to have a control on humidity. So there is another parameter. Another very common parameter is ventilation. So by ventilation, we are going to bring some outdoor air or fresh air, outdoor air or fresh air inside the room, as well as we are going to exhaust some air from the room. So it's a two-way thing. We bring air from the environment or from the ambient condition inside the room, and at the same time we are going to exhaust some air from the room by force or by natural ventilation. And other relevant parameter are pressure. So the room pressure is an important parameter for in sophisticated projects. For instance, if your room is a positive pressure in 11 with the corridor, then if the door is open, there will be a flow from room to your corridor. And if your room is in the negative pressure, so there will be a flow of air from the corridor to your room. So that we are going to control. We are going to control the quality of the air. The carbon dioxide in the air is already controlled in the ventilation part. Air quality means the ISO air class that we are going to control. Let's say we are going to control ISO class 6, 7, 8, 9. So those are important stuff here. So we are going to use some particle filter, carbon filter, and some other stuffs to control the air quality. Then volume of air, we express this in CFM, cubic feet per minute, or MPAs, meter cube per hour. Sometimes we like to refer it like liter per second. That is not very popular. By volume, we are going to control what is the amount of air is coming to your room every minute or hour through your HVAC system. And by doing so, we are actually going to control ACPH, air change per hour. So how many times the air of your room will go through the HU or FCU and come back to your room. That is important. When we talk about temperature, we are going to express them in degrees Celsius, Kelvin, or Fahrenheit. Humidity, we are going to express in RH and grain per pound. Ventilation, it will be in CFM, and we are going to use the related ASHRAE ventilation standard here. For pressure, we are going to use Pascal. Some people like to use PSI, but I will be sticking on Pascal. This is all the parameters. These are all the parameters that we are going to control with the HVAC system. But I'm going to notify you here that not all the parameters we are going to control in every project. For instance, if your project is a residential or commercial project, some office buildings like that, we will be controlling temperature, humidity. No, we are not going to control it there. Ventilation, we are going to control in every project, so it will be there. Pressure, no. Quality, we will be ensuring that air quality inside the commercial space is better than the street. But we are not going to meet any ISO parameter, ISO air class. So this is not relevant here. Volume, obviously, we're going to have some control on. Now let's talk about some other project. If your project is a operation theater, so in the operation theater, obviously you're going to have a control on temperature, humidity. So humidity we might have to control. Ventilation, obviously we need ventilation there. Pressure, obviously, depending on the nature of the operation theater, we might have a positive or negative pressure inside the room, so that will be controlled. Quality, obviously, we are going to have a control over particle, and also we are going to use UV filter to kill out the bacteria. Volume, obviously, we're going to use this one. So we do not need to control all the parameters in every project, but these are the parameters of the table, and we're going to choose which parameter we are going to control in which project to what will be the accurate parameter. Let's say temperature, someone might like to control 22 at the design phase, some might like to go 24. So those are the indoor air requirements that we are going to control the HVAC system. So as we know this is the very basic step we must know before proceeding with the other session. Then we will be carry on with fan coil unit. What is fan coil unit? And air handling unit. What is air handling unit? We are also going to talk about fresh air unit, fan filter unit. So every term has to be cleared out even before you start learning the design stuffs. So let's proceed forward with the FCU.